and what a lovely morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're listening to Power Talks with Melody and Beth Ann in the morning, where talk is real, truth is in the talk, and there is power in truth. And we wish you a good morning. Good morning, Melody. How are you today?
I'm just fantastic. Thank you very much. You know, there's few things, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners probably agree. You don't disagree, but there's few things that put a smile on your face in the morning. Certainly waking up is one. But that song, it always puts a smile on your face. It puts a smile on my face.
The song does. I'm not sure waking up in the morning puts a smile on my face.
The older I get, the happier I am.
That you actually woke up?
That I woke up, yes.
I have never been a morning person since birth. I wished I was as good as I was when I was a baby, but Mom said when they brought me home from the hospital, they'd wake me up to feed me. I just wanted to keep sleeping. I am not a morning person, but I'm one of those that can go all night, late into the night. But once I'm done, I'm done. I've crashed. But
I'm the opposite, of course.
Well, yeah. There we go.
I was awake today at 3:30.
I'm not sure that really happens twice a day, that time, but they say it does.
I did go back to sleep, but I'm a morning person, and
I used to sing in a gospel group, and we would practice at my house, and I'd put my kids to bed. They'd sleep through it, but we would practice till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, we practiced singing and laughing and being goofy, all hours of the night. So I'm a night owl. Not a morning person. And I think that usually goes kind of hand in hand, because if you stay up all night, you really can't get up in the morning.
That is very true.
So
I was always early to bed, early to rise. Makes a person healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Well, now we know my problem.
Anyway, today is Resolution Day?
Yeah, or predictions. You mentioned predictions.
I do have some predictions.
Yeah, but let's give the number. 717-300-1218 is the number to call. If you remember yesterday, we said we wanted to hear your New Year's resolutions, but Melody made the rule that you can't say lose weight. So you can't say lose weight. It has to be something creative, something that you really want, or a prediction. Maybe if you want to just give a prediction for the new year. Some people are probably better at that than I am. But a resolution or a prediction. All right, what you got, girl?
And if we don't have any calls, then you must say lose weight. Okay. Okay. Who am I to write the laws?
Eat healthier. That's the same thing. Okay. All right.
And I think every one of us agree to do that. We always try, particularly getting through the holidays when we have a tendency to do things we don't normally do. Now, maybe there's a lot of people out there that are a little more strict and can follow and continue to eating healthy through the holidays, but I have to admit I'm really not one of those.
No, I have. I've been grazing now for a while. Grazing on the what do they call it? On the snacks, the sweets, and really, it's the other things that sit out, the nuts and that kind of thing that I get all excited about. I've got somebody at church gave me some of the pecans the sugar pecans. Have you made those before? They're real easy to make, but they're so tasty.
I love pecans.
And, I love pecans too. I like it plain as well as sugared.
I had a client he lived in Arkansas, and I haven't talked to him in a long time, but I hope he's listening, and I'm going to say good morning. He did two things. He used to send me honey, and because he had his own bees, and he used to send me pecans.
Oh yeah.
And what he did with the pecans is he would roast them on a grill. Of course, you have to put something down or you'd fall through.
Yeah.
And he
got that picture.
Did you get that? And he would sprinkle it with olive oil.
Ooh.
With Italian-based olive oil. and he would smoke them. Oh my gosh. He would send me a bag, and they weren't around for more than 24 hours. I mean, I'm talking about a little, plastic baggie, one of the Ziploc baggies or something like that.
Not a jumbo bag.
not the jumbo bag. Oh, they were absolutely delicious, and I've always wanted to make them, and I never, got around to it. But yeah, he smoked them on the grill and sprinkled them with Italian dressing, I believe it was, just Italian.
Did he use a grill or did he use a smoker?
He used the grill, and he just, put them in, I think he put them in foil and, poked holes in it. So, you can always add the chips. I think he used, I don't know if he used apple chips or orange chips or, to make the smoke.
I'm gonna look that up because I've got a couple of boys that have smokers, and they like to grill outside and do things. And in fact, my one son, he said, "I can fix anything you want for next weekend, Mom." Okay, how about prime rib? He said, "Well, I can do it." I just chuckled. That's expensive. I was teasing.
But yes, look up and they get real dark, so you don't think that you're burning them.
Yeah,
they get real dark, and just probably one of the better things that I've eaten. So
okay, grilled or smoked almonds. Pecans.
Pecans.
Okay.
Wonderful.
I'm going to look it up. Go look it up.
So, do you want to give out the phone number one more time?
717-300-1218. What is your New Year's resolution or prediction for 2018? Or just a Happy New Year shout out to everyone. That's 717-300-1218. 717-300-1218. I don't lose weight. I just got in trouble. All right. It's always that. I just, to get caught up. I'm one of these people that is a clutter bug, and I tend to procrastinate, put things off. And I really want 2018 to be a year when I do better and get caught up. It may take me the entire year to get caught up, but to do some things that way, at home and here in the office.
Aren't you going to ask me mine?
What is yours?
Lose
Melody,
weight.
what is your resolution?
Lose weight.
Oh, you're so honest.
Get caught up. I think it's the same one every year.
She was waiting. She was just waiting.
But I mean, you get to our age, my age.
What's left, huh?
What else is there?
I want to look 10 years younger. Feel 10 years.
If we lose weight, we will.
It will help. Although the little chubby, kind of fills in the wrinkles. Smile is the best camouflage for wrinkles. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Because when you're smiling and people see you're happy, they're not looking at your wrinkles. They're looking at your happy. So smile more.
True, too.
That's my advice for 2018. Smile more. Laugh a little more. It's healing. It helps us. And there's going to be a lot we need to get through this next year. I predict that much anyway. I would like to say it's going to calm down, but I don't see it doing that. And I've been teasing Melody here because last year she did have a prediction that this year was going to be active was the word she used. Very active, and it has been not just active, it has been total chaos with watching the Democrats and the mainstream media in a constant meltdown like a 3-year-old. It just has never stopped. With a 3-year-old, you're supposed to ignore them, and they'll stop throwing their fit. We apparently haven't done a very good job of ignoring these people. But. Well,
and I think, and this is, again, I don't mean this in a negative way, but I also believe that as long as Trump is in office, it's not going to quiet down. I mean,
it doesn't go along with his name, does it?
No, I mean, it's going to be chaos for one reason or another, whether it be positive or negative, or I guess chaos isn't ever positive, I suppose, but it's going to be, and I think we'll see that for the next 3 years. And this is 2018 is going to be an election year, and this was a psychic who predicted the election of Donald Trump. He revealed his expectations for 2018. The guy's name is, and I'm not a believer in psychics, okay, but he
got it right.
But his name is Craig Hamilton Parker. His list, and so he previously forecasted Brexit. Who didn't? Trump's victory. A lot of us did. He predicted the Nice terror attack. He predicted Prince Harry's engagement to Meghan Markle. So this was just this was off his blog, and I don't even really know where. I think someone sent it to me, and there were some highlights. And it is kind of interesting. It has it broken down into different groups. And the first one was the environmental predictions. And Mount Vesuvius in Italy will erupt. They will have to evacuate Naples.
How long has it been since that erupted? Does anybody know?
Well, I think there's been small eruptions along the way, but I don't know if it's. Okay. I don't know if it's been dormant. I've been to Naples and I've seen, the ash, and we were there on a rainy day, so we didn't go through the whole thing. But there's going to be an increase in seismic activity. I think we've already experienced that.
Yes.
Including places that have been tremor-free for 1,000 years, with one very serious earthquake in New Zealand. And I'm going to keep this list on my wall.
Oh, yes.
And as these things happen, we'll scratch them off.
I'm going to have to Google and find that list.
The southern seas will be impassable in places due to a massive ice shelf breaking from the Antarctic. Now, this was interesting. There will be wildfires in California.
Well, there already has been.
Australia, yeah. As well as flooding in India and China. There will be record hurricanes in the Caribbean. So he could be just repeating last year's situations. So that was the environmental predictions. And, I don't think there's anything that really stands out there that, say, wow. World conflict and terror predictions. Trade embargo with North Korea will fail. We already are having talks about that failing. The U.S. will strike at railway line and bridge to disrupt imports. While there has been discussions about perhaps targeting his abilities to continue his makings of his nuclear weapons, strategically. So this kind of comes in line. I mean, I don't think any of these are really out of the way, and pretty much can be, what you and I would talk about on this program or our other programs. Kim Jong-un will be disposed by his own people, and he will go missing.
Oh, really? That was, mark that one down.
Yeah. A world flu epidemic, possibly linked to biological warfare started by North Korea or a terrorist group. Japan will pay to hire American missile defense services. I don't think Japan's going to pay for anything. Man, we don't make them pay for anything. Let's see if there's anything else. A massive Bitcoin fraud will be uncovered and thwarted that funds terrorism and war, and a well-known American company will be involved. That was kind of interesting. We've already seen things about Bitcoin, about fraud. Little reports are beginning to come up. It'll be interesting to see about the American company. And I hear the music that we're going to break.
Okay, and we're going to give the number. We want to hear your New Year's resolutions or predictions for 2018. 717-300-1218. That's 717-300-1218. And we'll be back before the new year.
Hear it first on FirstAmendmentRadio.com and FirstAmendmentRadio.net. Gold and silver is tremendously undervalued. global demand vastly exceeds mine supply by more than 60% annually, there is little in the financial world more certain than a coming explosion in the prices of gold and silver. The U.S. dollar continues to lose value and respect as the world's reserve currency. Our nation faces challenges on many fronts, and a day doesn't pass without another economist bringing forth warnings of impending economic calamity. There has never been a better time than right now to acquire physical gold and silver. Discount Gold and Silver Trading was founded on the principles of truth and honesty. We believe in providing a quality product, quality service, and most importantly, competitive pricing. We provide all forms of precious metals, including American gold, silver, platinum, and rare investment and circulated coins. Silver bars, rounds, and 90% silver bags are on hand for the silver investor. Gold self-directed IRAs are available. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free, that's 1-800-375-4188.
Visit crosstheborder.org, C-R-O-S-S, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org. When it comes to prophecy today, much of the evangelical Christian world has their eyes on Israel, waiting and watching to see when the third temple will begin to be built. The plans are drawn. The Jewish people are eager. Most evangelical Christians today believe that the rapture will happen before the third temple is built. Hi, I'm Michael Yuji. I was taught that Daniel's 70th week was in the future. Is that really what the Bible teaches? Have we searched the Scriptures and found this to be true? Why is it so important for a reestablished Israel to build a third temple in Jerusalem? Is it necessary to build a temple on the same location already occupied by the Dome of the Rock? Is it necessary for sacrifices to take place in the temple on Temple Mount? Is there really a rapture followed by 7 years of tribulation? What is the New Testament temple? Can we identify history and prophecy? Who is the first beast in Revelation chapter 13? Who are the 7 kings in Revelation 17? I have asked all these questions, and I have found Nicholas Arthur's new book, When the Third Temple is Built, answers all these questions and more using Scripture to interpret Scripture. The Bible says that no prophecy of Scripture is of any private interpretation. Nicholas shows us in his new book, When the Third Temple is Built, how the Bible interprets prophecy and not man's private interpretation. Visit crosstheborder.org, C-R-O-S-S, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org.
Years ahead of the dominant media, FirstAmendmentRadio.com and FirstAmendmentRadio.net.
And we have returned. You're listening to Power Talks with Melody and Beth Ann in the morning. 717-300-1218. That's 717-300-1218. We're asking for your New Year resolution. New Year's resolution or resolutions or predictions that you might have for 2018, or if you just want to give a greeting, that would be fine too. Just a Happy New Year to everyone. We have Joe in Arkansas. Joe, how are you today?
Oh, staying warm enough so far, and how are you all?
I'm doing good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. Good to hear that. Yeah, I wanted to tell you my New Year's resolution. That's this.
Okay.
I have a dream and a goal, and that's which I've been working on, and that is to become known as a significant Arkansas artist and to be known in Little Rock. So my that would be hitting the big time for me, I think, if I was kind of well known to the people in Little Rock that concern themselves with painting. And so my New Year's resolution is to spend as much time as I can every day working on my paintings, and to find ways to show my stuff and to have as many shows as I can. So that's my New Year's resolution.
Fantastic.
That's a good one. That's a good, and you do an awesome job. You just, I mean,
thank you very much.
I kind of, the few that I saw online when I was looking here a while back, kind of reminded me of Norman Rockwell. I mean, I just really like the style. I think it's beautiful.
Well, I don't really want to paint like Norman Rockwell. If there's any famous American artist that I'd really like to be able to paint like, it would be Thomas Hart Benton. But that I haven't.
Well,
haven't
I guess I was thinking
he's
more of.
He's absolutely my favorite. I really admire him. But Norman Rockwell is pretty good.
I was thinking more of the pictures that I saw. The one old vehicle. Didn't you have an old vehicle there that I? Yeah, that one.
I've got a bunch of them.
I mean, I guess
one of the things I kind of made a specialty of. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I liked.
Yeah.
I thought they were.
Well, if you go look at my website again, you might see some more of my more recent ones. I've actually been doing quite a few portraits recently, and I've got them up on my website.
Oh, portraits.
So if you would like to go to www.crackerjoepaintspictures.com, that's www.crackerjoepaintspictures.com, you could see some of my more recent paintings that you might not have seen yet.
All right, I'm putting it down.
All right.
CrackerJoePaintsPictures.com. I got it.
All right.
I do like it, Joe. I'm not just saying that. I did like what I saw when I was there a while back when I was looking.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. I'm going to keep it.
Very welcome. We wish you the best of luck with that this year. Keep us informed. And I'm going to go in and
all right,
see
we'll
some
do,
of your
and I wish you all the best.
Portraits are tough to paint. Or so I hear. Everything's tough for me.
Well, I like them, because you got to be absolutely precise. It's a real challenge.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it very much. Good luck with that. Well, Happy New Year to you.
All right.
You've seen his paintings, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
They really are pretty.
Yes.
They really are awesome.
Okay. I think we're still connected. So.
Yes,
okay.
we are.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. And please, we'd like to hear from all of you.
All of you.
All of you.
We didn't give them enough warning because we just mentioned it yesterday. So we didn't give them enough warning. Your New Year's resolution, cannot say lose weight. Melody has X'd that one out. It's a rule. Cannot say lose weight. Your New Year's resolution or prediction, or if you just want to give a greeting, a Happy New Year shout out to somebody, you can do that at 717-300-1218, 717-300-1218. Well, in the news, there is some of that going on, Did you have something else?
Well, yeah, I did. I wanted to finish up these predictions.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on your predictions.
Well, I'll go through them real quick.
That's
and also,
okay. I'm not in any hurry.
Yeah, we got an hour. I don't want to.
Not quite.
And I also want to talk a little bit about gold and silver, too. But he goes on and I'm not going to go through each one of these, but the UK and the USA will be hit by a weak euro, but their economies will bounce. I don't know. If we have a weak euro, that means the dollar will be strong, and I don't see that. I see a weaker dollar, which means, they might be parity, the euro and the dollar might go hand in hand, but I don't see a stronger U.S. dollar, so I'd have to,
disagree with that one?
I would have to disagree with that. And he's talking about the dollar getting stronger because it's going to be seen as a safe haven. No, I think the territory that we entered this year, I think gold is going to be seen as the safe haven. It's going to regain its place as it always does during economic downfalls, geopolitical situations, and wars. It also looks like the USA, there's going to be an attempt to impeach Donald Trump. That's already been going on. He says it's going to fail. So these are kind of things that are already going on. He's just, expounding on them a little bit. The Mexican border wall will not be built. It will instead consist of drones and sensors. The U.S. will lose trade in the East as China and Russia form a military and economic alliance in response to North Korea crisis and U.S. protectionism. There's going to be here's an interesting one. A U.S. warship will be sunk.
Oh, my gosh.
By a mine or terrorist operation. Let's see. There's going to be a big fire in Las Vegas. I don't know how big you can be in Las Vegas because there's no trees there or anything like that. So if there's a big fire in Las Vegas, it'd have to come from something like a bomb or some sort of nuclear, maybe from North Korea. So I'm not quite sure how you would have a big fire in Las Vegas. UK predictions. I don't care about UK predictions. But so those are the predictions by this gentleman who claims to have been right on.
Is that in an email that you have that? Because I was trying to find it, and I've got all these advertisements that are squished up in it.
I'll find that for you and
just if you could. Yeah, then I'll share it on my next show because I'm going to hang it up by my calendar too. We're going to watch those predictions and see.
I don't know if I can get it to you by your show, but.
Oh, okay. Gee.
That's my New Year's resolution. to be
oh, geez, you're going to get
email.
You're going to get it to me before the beginning of 2019.
Yeah, you can use them next year. They probably won't change much. But anyway,
well,
gold,
they will.
We've seen a nice move in gold today. It's up another $5.80, approaching that $1,300 level. Silver's up 13 cents today at $16.90. And I think this week you have a lot of traders off. It's a weak market, low volume, and so forth. So you might see a little pressure on gold and silver maybe come Monday as things go back to normal. And but again, I think 2018 is going to be a terrific year for gold and silver. A terrific year. And
that'd be great for you.
Yeah, we're going to see. And it'll be great. You know, people do focus on the increases of prices. I mean, that's what makes it exciting, of course. And it's one of the reasons people want to buy because they think the price is going up. But gold really does provide more than just an increase in the prices, and the same way with silver. And that's how you have to look at your purchases of gold and silver, because that way you'll never be discouraged if the price meanders around the 1,300 level. You won't be discouraged because you're purchasing it for the protection of your purchasing power, and for all the. I mean, we have a lot of issues. I mean, we're optimistic and hopeful, but yet there's big cracks in our system. In our monetary system, and I think those cracks are going to widen from here on out. So it's going to be a roller coaster of a year. So these are opportunities to buy gold and silver at these lower prices. So you can give us a call at 1-800-375-4188. We have the 2018 Silver Eagles that are available. They'll become available in January, but you can lock in the price on the 2018s. We're pretty much trading in 2018s for the year in Silver Eagles. 2017s, you know, if they're available, we'll ship them to you, but we're going to be waiting for the 2018. So great opportunity, folks, and if you don't have any gold and silver, you better start considering it. You better get rid of those paper dollars because you're losing. You know, people, well, how am I losing? Stock markets are going up. My quarterly portfolio shows that I'm doing all this. It's your purchasing power. Those dollars are buying you less and less. Even though they're rising, even though you might have more digits on that paper, they're buying you less and less. And that's what's dangerous. You don't see the loss. You don't see the loss.
And it's, you know, there's so much that's in the news with our currency and our economy, and it's global. I mean, we've said that before, that it's not just the U.S. So many nations are living on the debt, manipulating with debt, taxes, and inflation, and it can only last so long. And so will this be the year? You know, it's concerning to me. We talked yesterday, I think it was yesterday, we talked a little bit about China and Russia, and it looks like they're going behind the scenes, big surprise, and sneaking in aid or oil to North Korea. And if that does, you know, if the prediction of one of our ships getting sunk, or if that prediction of if war does break out, what's that going to do to the economy, Melody? You know, what's going to happen then?
I mean, it's been I
know that was a loaded question, but it's just.
Well, the obvious answer is it's not going to be good.
No.
You know, you can argue the point where, economies do better while we're in war, and that's really not true. That's what they want you to believe. Certainly you can see knee-jerk reactions in anything, just like I think you're going to see a knee-jerk reaction to the tax cuts. But it's not going to be long-term. And I think you can see the same thing. Well, oil prices will skyrocket, because if the war is with North Korea, to me, it isn't North Korea. It's Iran. It's China. It's Russia. North Korea is just a little blob on the map. We could wipe them out. Oh, and that's what I hear people. Oh, we can wipe them off the face of the earth in a matter of seconds, maybe. But can we do the same to Iran? Can we do the same to China? Can we do the same to?
Yeah, it's just something that keeps going and going.
Russia?
A domino effect.
And they've all made. And it might be maybe once North Korea is gone, maybe they'd say, phew, that little problem's gone, so let's get on with business. Who knows? No one knows.
Well, Craig predicted he was going to disappear, so that would be nice if he did disappear, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But I've often wondered,
doing, and who's to say? But
stranger things have happened. I've often wondered why, when he decides to fire off one of these missiles, that we just don't explode it in air. Why don't we just do that? We supposedly have that capability, but
I heard it's very difficult to do that. So I don't know. It's I'm not that type of an expert, so I mean I don't. I'm not any kind of an expert.
Well,
I do think you are. I do think you are. You're an expert with this. But so if we go to war, what will it do to our economy? You're going to see oil prices skyrocket. That's not good for our economy.
No.
So, we'll just...
it would be if we were the ones selling it, if we were the ones selling that oil. But we seem to be the ones buying the oil. And, that was something that, not that I'm I don't know what the word is. That was something, not that I was surprised, but that was something that I was curious about, and we talked about it last week with the tax reform, that they stuck in there that they're going to start drilling in Alaska. Mm-hmm. And if we would start, we have the oil. We have it. Somebody suggested several years ago, maybe we're waiting for ours until the rest of them start running out, and then we can tap that market, and sell the oil. But that could be something that would be a good thing if all that happened, that we didn't predict. We were just throwing those little scenarios out there. But
well, just like Venezuela. Everybody hears the horror stories of what's going on there. The 700 plus, 2,000 plus inflation, people, killing each other, eating out. You're hearing all the horror stories. And what does the United States do? We place more sanctions. We're trying to boost the government. We're trying to change the government. But does anybody really ask why? Venezuela, it's the country. It has the largest proven oil reserves in the world. So, it just isn't, democracy. We want to, folks, democracy. They want to go in and steal what the country has. And has the largest proven oil reserves in the world. And the state-owned oil company, it's on the brink of collapse. And so... as the nation is in this downward economic spiral, who's going to come in there and scoop up, the company and the Maduro, getting him kicked out, replacing the government? And I hear people say, well, that's a good thing that guy's gone, and look what gives us the right? Is it really about replacing the government and giving them a quote-unquote democracy? Or is it about going in there and taking over the reserves, the largest proven reserves in the world? And look at the collapse of this country. So there's a lot of wealth there. And it's like the world has turned a blind eye to Venezuela. So, it's just not the U.S. that's in on it. Venezuela is now turning to China. They're turning to Russia for help. So, and even with the oil prices rising, they've been unable to take advantage of that. Their production continues to fall, even with Libya and some of the other oil-rich nations. I mean, they're pumping the heck and trying to export as much oil as they can with the oil prices at these higher levels, at holding around that $60 level. So I think Venezuela is interesting. We continue to put sanctions on them, and look, and all we hear about is, we want to help the people. Well, look what you're doing. Is it Maduro? I mean, he can, the government, the socialist nation, can be blamed. We see what happens when a government is socialist. I mean, right now, they're the current example of what happens to a socialist nation. And the people are, so, I don't know, it's interesting. But
it is
sad.
It is interesting. Go ahead.
But it's interesting. It's sad, and we'll see what happens. Who actually goes in there and overtakes the, whether it'll be China, Russia, both. Maybe they'll make an agreement with the Saudis. I highly unlikely will be with the United States, but we'll see.
It's things are unsure. We're not getting a lot of calls here on New Year's resolution. And I believe that Melody was kidding when we were going on the air. Her New Year's resolution was to not make a New Year's resolution. I've got a husband that likes to do that too. And it's, but the truth is, tomorrow is always uncertain. The predictions are fun. Resolutions are fun. It's good to try to improve, whether it's your self-improvement or your business or families or whatever it is. That's all fun and necessary. Personal improvement is necessary, and I always look at a new year as a new day. And I'm going to be sending you an article for the newsletter, Melody, that talks about that. I mentioned scripture in it, but it's a new opportunity for us. Having been through something where you had to start all over again, and you have been too. You didn't have a fire, but you had other things happen in your life where you had to start all over. And I recognize that tomorrow is uncertain. You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. You don't know what the next hour is going to bring. But today is the present, and it is a gift. And with that gift, we try to use common sense. We try to use logic to plan for tomorrow. And I wasn't necessarily trying to get into a commercial, or to promote, but I will discount gold and silver trading, because that is something that we need to do to secure that tomorrow, because tomorrow is always uncertain. Always uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen, if we're going to break out in a war, or if peace is going to come. We don't know if the dollar's going to collapse, or are we going to go on with this crazy inflation and chaos that seems to be the norm from day to day. I've mentioned to Melody before, I'm just absolutely so sick of the news, because it's the same rhetoric and story day in and day out. Nobody's talking about the land grabbing that's going on out west. Nobody's talking about the things that are really affecting our lives. We're talking about the dossier. We're talking about Mueller. We're talking about the Russian collusion, and we're talking about politics and not people. And that doesn't mean that I don't think these people are people. I'm just saying we're not talking and focusing on liberty. We're not talking and focusing on things that really affect we the people, our lives on a day-to-day basis, whether it's a New Year's resolution that we want to make or just facing reality. And they're not talking about the things. They're patting themselves on the back over this tax reform, and, every little bit helps, I suppose. But I guess I'm so tired of hearing their rhetoric. And we the people should all be sick of it. It's just absolutely, every evening I sit there and watch this crazy news, Melody, and every evening it's the same story. Nobody knows anything, but everybody knows something, This one guy last night, and he's a staunch Democrat, and he's defending Hillary, and he's defending this and defending that, and saying, he made a comment because Sebastian Gorka had asked him what if such and such happened, and he said, it was a Bernie Sanders person, because they think Trump is promoting all this violence. It was a Bernie Sanders supporter that went and shot these senators. He kind of poo-pooed that. And I thought, wait a minute, that actually happened. He's talking about something that could happen. And this actually did happen. And Gorka was saying, Sebastian was saying, they weren't really blaming Bernie Sanders for this. But that's what happened. And the guy just kind of poo-pooed it. And I thought, we had senators get shot and one almost lost his life. And he just kind of poo-pooed it. So these are the things, they lack respect for we the people while they're playing their politics and speaking their... Did you ever read the poem Jabberwocky? Makes absolutely no sense. Well, that's kind of what politics is today. They make absolutely no sense. It's when it comes to real life for you and I. I didn't mean to get on a tangent like that, but it's just, our resolutions, they're important and they're something good, but we have to recognize tomorrow is always uncertain. But today is a gift. The present is a gift.
It is. And, you're right about, we don't talk, and maybe that's the resolution for the program. We need to start perhaps getting away from the news and maybe go deeper into some of these stories. Maybe that'll be a resolution for the program.
Absolutely.
And again, we always ask the listeners, be a part of it. We want you a part of the program, because this program is not a program without you. You are the program. We're here.
One thing that was commented last night, and I started to write it down. I thought I don't need to write it down because I do it every day. A lot of problems, a lot of issues are talked about and solved over the kitchen table. At least that's what it used to be. And that's kind of how I feel CSC Talk Radio is. And that's, what's that?
Used to be the bar.
Well, I didn't hang out at the bar that much. But
well, neither did I
haven't solved any problems either. But I kind of, oh my goodness, I hear the music.
Hear it first on FirstAmendmentRadio.com and FirstAmendmentRadio.net. Since the beginning of time, kings have sought it, nations have fought for it. It has been traded, it has been borrowed, it has been purchased, it has been stolen. There's a reason for it. To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity. Invest with the security of gold and silver. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188 or visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. Listen to Financial Survival with your host Melody Cedarstrom right here on FirstAmendmentRadio.com at 4 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net or call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free, 1-800-375-4188. The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on Internet or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the Internet. Then, when you subscribe, we will send you the last quarterly MP3 CD of that program immediately, and continue to do so with each new quarter. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe, so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening. Hear it first on FirstAmendmentRadio.com and FirstAmendmentRadio.net.
The wrong name of the show. You can listen to CSE Talk Radio, where I am on that right following after this show. Right following, is that the right phrase? Following right after this show. Yeah, well, I'm a professional, so you got to listen to him. I'm a professional. We were talking about, or I kind of went on a little tangent. I get a little bit sentimental when the new year rolls around, and it was in December when I lost everything in a fire, and it's just the new year is a new beginning. There's nothing wrong. In fact, there's everything good about wanting to do better. And if you use a date, whether it's January 1st or July 1st or whatever the date is that you say, this is the day I'm going to do it. You know, it used to be a joke. I'm going to start my diet on Monday because nobody wants to diet on the weekend. You know, so if you're serious, get a plan together. I need to do that. Seriously, I need to get a plan together, to get organized, to clear out the clutter. We all have clutter in our lives, whether it's literally clutter in front of us, which I have, or some other clutter in your life that you need to take care of. And so that's my wish for you, that maybe you don't have clutter in your life, but that you'll have a wonderful, happy New Year, and that the New Year will, regardless of the chaos that's going on around us, that you will have peace within your heart. That's you, Melody, and that's me, but that's our listeners. That's my wish for everyone for their new year, is that with chaos you can still find peace, and we know that is possible. We have a caller. We have John. John, how are you today?
Oh, rather depressed about all the warmongering that's going on, and peace in our life and peace in the world, I think, is actually what the main issue right now, because we could be moving towards the end of humanity with the way the Democrats, the Republicans are all really the pawns of the military-industrial complex that even Eisenhower, who was a large part of it, warned in his farewell address was taking over the country back in the late 50s. Now, it's even worse now, and I believe that the Democrats and the Republicans are really leading us towards Armageddon, and even people like the former Assistant Secretary of the Treasury, Paul Craig Roberts, who I think everybody ought to Google up, just Paul Craig Roberts.
Okay. John, let me stop you for just a second. Can you find anything positive to think about for 2018? We know all this other.
No,
we know that it's ugly.
I don't think we know exactly what's going on, because the media in this country is totally controlled by the CIA and the military-industrial complex, and this is a poison, I think, that we're subjected to every day, that we've got to really realize that it was exposed that the CIA completely controls the media to drag us into war, to demonize countries like North Korea, Russia, China, Iran,
okay, but
Libya, Syria.
If you could bring any positive to the listeners right now, what would you bring? What would you give as a positive to be uplifting? We're trying to be uplifting today. So what would you give as something that's going to be a positive instead of all the fear-mongering? We know that that's there. We know that it's there. We have talked about it, and you've been on the show several times and brought it to light. So what would you say to the listeners, to those listening?
I would say that...
What would you say to bring something good?
I think there's some good sources out there, but they're completely kept under a bushel, like globalresearch.ca tells very much truth. Paul Craig Roberts does. I think that if we begin to realize that we're heading for a real disaster if we don't break out of this anti-communist witch hunting. And it's
so
ironic.
educate themselves. So you would just say that we need to do a lot of research and educate ourselves, and that's the positive for the new year.
I think, I've noticed
to arm yourself with education.
A very good source. If you just look up as a search, debunking anti-communism. I think there are very good sources that begin to show that the millions of people that were killed in the last 70 years, including 1/3 of the Korean people, millions of Koreans, millions of Vietnamese around the world, based on this poison that has been foisted on us. There are now openings
I'm
that we
going to
can
stop
hear.
you because we're just about out of time, and the whole purpose of today's show was to give a resolution or a positive, and I believe to educate ourselves is a positive, and so we're going to leave it at that while we go on and continue the show, because I want to give others, and we're just about out of time, an opportunity to call in with their New Year's resolutions or their positive greetings for the listeners. I appreciate it, John. I know that you're very heartfelt, and I agree with you. I just feel like we want to give some positives out here today. 717-300-1218 is the number to call, and we wish you a happy New Year, John. I really do. I'm not trying to get rid of you. The whole idea of today's show was to be positive. 717-300-1218 is the number to call. Melody, we were talking about...
Then I guess you don't want me to talk about Americans are dying younger than people in other nations. Okay.
Yeah, the world is against me today. No. Well, I'm not dying younger.
We live in a world where it's very difficult to find the truth.
It is, and I agree with John. It is. It is.
But I also know not everything you find on the internet is true.
That is true.
If you just find information that supports your belief, you can really be taken down the wrong road. And that's what I really try to do on my financial survival program, is truly find, especially when it comes to financial news, is to really find the truth. And it's difficult. And but we also have, like what you said, Beth, we have to be positive, or we don't accomplish anything.
No, that's true.
And so you have to have this balance. And a lot of these, lots of programs that just breed fear and trust me, there's a lot of news out there that is scary.
Well, the fear mongers, they're out there, and a lot of times they're not correct. John is correct that what are you doing about? Huh?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, he is correct, but it's, the fear-mongering that goes on, some of that is not correct, and they do it and they profit by it, and that infuriates me when they do that. And it's I don't know, I can't do a show every day just on all of that. I would not be able to handle it every single day. I believe in bringing some positives, and I get excited about a new year. I do. I think if we all want to make the world a better place, we got to start at home. And we do have to educate and activate. You have to be wise to what's really going on. And we're just about out of time. And I had something here that was, it's an article by Gary Galles, Galles, and it comes to me through FEE, which we have talked about before. I agree with some of the writers. I don't agree with all of them, or I don't agree 100% with all of them. But he was just talking about Cicero, and he says, John Adams said to Marcus Tullius Cicero that all ages of the world have not produced a great statesman and philosopher combined. Anthony Everett called him an architect of constitutions and still governs our lives today. Thomas Jefferson said the Declaration of Independence was based on the elementary books of public right as Aristotle, Cicero, Locke, Sidney, and etc. But in this article, it just mentioned what justice was and liberty and law, and I thought it was very interesting, and we're going to run out of time, But if anybody would want some of these articles that we share, at least the ones that I share, if you would send a self-addressed stamped envelope, I would be happy. Well, you're going to have to send it to my address instead of Power Talk's address. I would be happy to share them with you. Justice is the crowning glory of the virtues. And justice consists in doing no injury to men. You know, I'm going to stop on that one right there because I'm thinking about what we see. We've been talking about what we see every evening when we watch the news. And you were talking about the arrogance during a break. She was talking about the arrogance over how they pat themselves on the backs after they've argued and passed tax reform. Justice consists in doing no injury to men. What have our politicians done? They have injured mankind, at least through ignoring our Constitution, ignoring our liberties, and that is something that I take offense to because of their arrogance, like you said, Melody. I hear the music, and we are out of time. We will be back, and we will be back with you live on Tuesday. Thank you. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year, Beth. Happy New Year, listeners.
Happy New Year, Melody.
Visit crosstheborder.org, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org. When it comes to prophecy today, much of the evangelical Christian world has their eyes on Israel, waiting and watching to see when the third temple will begin to be built. The plans are drawn. The Jewish people are eager. Most evangelical Christians today believe that the rapture will happen before the third temple is built. Hi, I'm Michael Eugene. I was taught that Daniel's 70th week was in the future. Is that really what the Bible teaches? Have we searched the scriptures and found this to be true? Why is it so important for a re-established Israel to build a third temple in Jerusalem? Is it necessary to build a temple on the same location already occupied by the Dome of the Rock? Is it necessary for sacrifices to take place in the temple on Temple Mount? Is there really a rapture followed by 7 years of tribulation? What is the New Testament temple? Can we identify history and prophecy? Who is the first beast in Revelation chapter 13? Who are the 7 kings in Revelation 17? I have asked all these questions, and I have found Nicholas Arthur's new book, When the Third Temple is Built, answers all these questions and more using Scripture to interpret Scripture. The Bible says that no prophecy of Scripture is of any private interpretation. Nicholas shows us in his new book, When the Third Temple is Built, how the Bible interprets prophecy and not man's private interpretation. Visit crosstheborder.org, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org.
The book of Revelation says, the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus Christ. This is at the very heart of FirstAmendmentRadio.com. In that spirit, we have created the Prophecy Reality News app for all of your mobile devices, streaming First Amendment Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Available for your Apple, Android device, and smartphone, absolutely free. Get the Prophecy Reality News app installed today so you can listen to First Amendment Radio wherever you are. The Prophecy Reality News app. Get it now.
Since the beginning of time, kings have sought it, nations have fought for it. It has been traded, it has been borrowed, it has been purchased, it has been stolen. There's a reason for it. To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity. Invest with the security of gold and silver. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188 or visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. Listen to Financial Survival with your host Melody Cedarstrom right here on FirstAmendmentRadio.com at 4 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net or call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free 1-800-375-4188.